Hello, my name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. Thanks to everyone who came out for the Libertarian Party of Dane County meeting tonight. It was a nice gathering at the Red Rock Saloon in West Johnson, and we're looking forward to next month's, which we've moved to Tuesday, Election Day, November 8th. Not sure of the venue yet, but LP Dane will be hosting the Election Day festivities, not only for the Anderson for U.S. Senate campaign, but for the Johnson Weld campaign in Wisconsin. So if you've been interested in presidential or Senate politics, and or you have help with the campaign in some way, shape, or form, or even if you're just following along and have well wishes for us, please join us on November 8th, probably at Brokaw on the Square, the Irish pub on the Square. Beautiful facility. We've been there before, but we'll let you know for sure. A lot of campaign stuff coming up this weekend. Tomorrow night I'm at a forum in the Manawa schools, Manawa being about roughly halfway between Green Bay and Wausau. And then in the evening, another candidates forum in Manawa, which will be great, delivering some signs as well tomorrow. Friday night, it's Adam Kokish's tour will be here, his book signing and his speaking tour, which we're looking forward for the love of freedom. And I'll be speaking either before or after, and then after, certainly, we'll be answering the questions that were offered to my opponents in the debate, which I'm being excluded from, unfairly, I would say. But we'll be answering those, Adam and I, afterwards, live streaming on Facebook, probably around 9:30 on Friday night, or thereabouts, depending on how long the rest of the event goes. And then we'll be rebroadcasting that, mixed in with the debate that actually took place in the Fox Valley that same night, later, for everyone to listen to and see how my answers are far superior to Russ Feingold and Ron Johnson's. And then on Saturday, after my son finishes taking the PSAT and I staple some more yard signs, we're going to Oshkosh at 2. We'll be at the Sundial in Oshkosh at 2, at the Shinery in Neenah at 5, from 5 till 7. I encourage you to join us at the Shinery because it's a really cool place. Somewhere else in Appleton on Saturday night, not sure of the venue yet. On Sunday morning, I'll be recording a podcast with the wonderful folks at Political Radar up in Green Bay. And then we'll be at Sammy's Pizza on Oneida Street, I think, in Green Bay from noon to 2. And then I'll be delivering signs while I'm up there too, not only in Green Bay and all those other places I mentioned, but also as far north as Peshtigo, Oconto, Pound, and possibly again over by Wild Rose, if you know where that is. So that's all what's going on with the campaign. I probably should have saved that for last, because what I really have to say is this. After thinking a lot about this particular campaign cycle, in particular presidential politics, what's really a shame about it, more than anything, is that all of these scandals, while some of them are, I think, relevant to how a person would serve as president, some of them not so much, but either way, they sort of drowned out any possibility for us to hear substantive questions about the issues. I'm sure that the third presidential debate will be the same way. I'm pretty sure that the Senate debate on Friday night will be the same way. There'll be name calling and you're this and you're that, and you're blaming people for things, and really the genius of America, the power of America in economy and society is freedom, and that's still there. Libertarians like myself, we fight for it every day. It's still there. It's being waged war against by those who would control it, namely big political parties and their moneyed interests. But we're still fighting for that. So a lot of the stuff that they talk about back and forth is somewhat irrelevant, because our economy does such a wonderful job of celebrating freedom and bringing out the best in people when it's not infringed on by government. But even given all that, not enough talk about issues. So I'm wondering if this Friday night and then in the presidential debate, that they're going to really talk about war, the issue of whether we should be at war overseas as much as we are, instigating conflicts, regime change, drone striking, manipulating currencies, all those sorts of things that lead to war, and what role government should have in our lives. Should government have a say in how we live our lives, or shouldn't it? And should government be redistributing money as it does corruptly and by coercion, of course, because we know taxation is theft. Theft, I tell you. So those are the real questions, the relationship between the person and their rights and government. And we don't hear about that too much because, generally speaking, Republicans and Democrats agree that government should be involved in our lives. They just argue as to in what way, shape, or form they should be involved. The real debate would take place if libertarians were on stage with these Republicans and Democrats about the real role of government. Where do rights come from? Which sounds like maybe an esoteric sort of philosophic question, but it's really important because we understand that rights come from the human being. And if you believe that, as I do and as our founding fathers did, then a lot of what our government does is wrong and immoral and improper and coercive. So that's a real serious question, I would say, as our government gets bigger and bigger and more expensive, and one that should be answered by candidates who are vying for your vote. I'm vying for your vote. I hope that you'll vote for me on November 8th if you're in Wisconsin. Hope that if you're anywhere else that you're voting for Gary Johnson and the Libertarians in your state, in your district, because the essential question is, do rights come from people, or is it just majority rule and the majority can do whatever they want with people? So I hope that you look through that particular lens as you're evaluating candidates, as you're watching these debates, and share the disgust I have with the process, with its distractions and its corruption, all to our detriment as citizens, supposedly free citizens. So I will talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks for listening. And please, again, remember to vote. You can vote early in Wisconsin anyway. You can vote at your nearest city clerk's building, I believe, city court building, and some other places as well. So get out and vote. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.